Namaste, everyone, and welcome to our new session, sort of like restarting our new ongoing series of insightful conversations at Aurobharati with September 2022 issue. So the topic that we have taken this time in our insightful conversations that goes along with our theme for our Renaissance journal is conscious conception and conscious parenting. And as our regular audience members know, this Insightful Conversations is a series where we invite and interact with individuals who are trying to bring in their own lives and in the lives of people around them the timeless spirit of India. And conscious pregnancy, conscious childbirth, conscious parenting are something that have been emphasized forever and ever in our spiritual tradition, in our cultural tradition. And Sri Aurobindo and Mother in particular, has spoken of this in a new light for the new age, for the future age. And in that regard, we have with us Miss Vijayalakshmi C, who will be sharing with us a little bit about her own experiential journey in this process of consciously choosing to be a mother, consciously choosing to be a parent, and then consciously building a relationship with a child. So we look forward to hearing from you, Vijayalakshmi ji. Thank you so much for joining. And before we hear from you, let me invite my colleague Vishwajita, who is joining us, and she will be giving a brief biographical information about you. And then we'll start with our conversation. And let me also introduce Ram, who is also joining us. So this is our small Renaissance team at Aurobharati. So welcome, and Vishwajita, please tell us a little bit about
Viji's. Happy to be with you all. Happy to be with you all.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. Mrs. Vijayalakshmi C is presently the Director for Human Research and Operations with Secure India. She has over 23 years of experience in the entire gamut of human research management with large and reputed groups of IT companies in India. Her prior education includes an MBA in HR and marketing and a BSc in mathematics. Mrs. Vijayalakshmi is deeply passionate about the area of conscious conception. She got into this area through her own self-study based on the writings of the mother and our ancient practices of Sanatana Dharma. She has received training by a renowned child educationist in the area of prenatal and infant brain stimulation and education. She is also interested in holistic healing modalities and has learned Burma therapy, Reiki healing, level 1 and 2, crystal healings, and a few other ancient yogic techniques for healing. We will be discussing with her today specifically about her interest in conscious conception and learning about her own experience in this regard. So we will start.
Thank you, Vishwajita. And welcome, Viji. I'm going to call you Viji. That's how I know you. And I've heard a little bit about your experience. But so let me begin with our first question for you. What is conscious conception and conscious pregnancy in your understanding? How have you come to understand these two terms? If you can just walk us through that a little bit.
My understanding of conscious conception and pregnancy is being aware. When you know what you're going to do, why you're going to do, and how you're going to do it. That means you're fully aware of the process. Conscious of what? Conscious of pregnancy is just not a biological process. It is from womanhood to motherhood. It has deep spiritual connection between the mother to the baby. The power of creation. A woman needs to believe herself and her body so that she will feel connected and at the same time surrender to the process. See, the egg and sperm are not developed in the body on the day of conception. We all know the ovary cycle and the sperm cycle. So when our body is doing so much of preparation, month on month, year by year, the body is doing so much of preparation, how can we not be prepared? We have to be prepared to accept the miracle to our body. See, it is as a mother, we need to have the patience to cover the journey throughout our life. It's not a 9-month process. We need to be conscious of our body, the mind, and our soul. So my discussions are going to be based on the writings of the Divine Mother in the form of the Mother of us, Mira Alfasa, and the Supreme Divine Sri Aurobindo, plus all the forefathers of this land, our ancient practices of the Sanatana Dharma. All these points are going to be from quotation from them. The conscious conception and fetal bonding are never new to this land of India. For sure, we have not created anything new, and no content or no idea is developed by us. It is already told, experimented, lived in this land. We have heard the story of Prahalad, Abhimanyu, Ashtavakra, Chhatrapati Shivaji, Adi Shankara, Swami Vivekananda. All their mothers have done that, pray before conceive, or they were doing whatever to be done in the prenatal. So as Sri Aurobindo says in Savitri, in a small fragile seed, a great tree lurks. In a tiny gene, a thinking being is shut. A little element in a little sperm, it grows and is a conquered sage. So mother says, the superhuman shall be born of women. This is a big, unquestionable truth. So it is certain, it is firm. The next evolution, the Superman, is going to be out of women like us. We may not be the chosen one, but today we can put that seed in our child so that in the next Janma or next Janma, it carries the memory in their, evolution. So definitely the woman has the power to bring a excellent species. Mother says the true domain of women is the spiritual, but we often forget it too. The true maternity begins with the conscious creation of a being with the willed shaping of soul. Mother says, do not bring in any child as a baggage. Do not bring in mechanically. She says maternity is considered as the principal role of a woman, but this is true only so long we understand what is meant by the word maternity. For to bring children into the world as rabbits, as they do to their young ones, instinctively, ignorantly, mention like that, certainly that is not called maternity, mother says. So she says to bear a child and to construct his body almost subconsciously is not enough. She says, by the power of thought and will, these two words will be our concentration for the day. By the power of thought and will, we conceive and create a character capable of manifesting an idol. Lot of things are written on parenting, motherhood, conscious conception of mother has written. So coming back to the question, my understanding is couples should not produce children mechanically. That is to say, not to conceive unconsciously as a byproduct of incidental pursuit of one's own sexual interest. It should be a prayer, an aspiration, a will.
Yes, thank you. I think the examples you gave make it very clear, whether it is the example of Abhimanyu or Chhatrapati Shivaji, and I think even as close as APJ Abdul Kalam, that's also another story that I've heard, how his mother aspired for a child with some extraordinary abilities, and we know what he was able to give to this country and to the world. So, this is very interesting, all the points that you brought up, Viji, and because in today's day and age, there are like two extremes we are living with. One is there are so many unwanted pregnancies, especially because of, like sexual activity, simply because of that, sexual engagement that people get into. Or there is this whole as the opposite extreme is people or women especially, maybe in the name of feminism or freedom or whatever, don't want to have children, that this will be like, this will bind them down to domesticity and not be able to pursue. But here, what you are talking about, and here what we are trying to understand is that when it is done with a very conscious intention, it has a whole other meaning to it. And that is the true maternity. So the unwanted one is also not true, and the one that feels compelled just because of pressure where a woman isn't ready, that is also not true maternity. So that, I think those 2 points are very important, that the way I listen to you. So thank you for bringing that up. Yeah. Let's see, we have a kind of few other questions. I don't know, Ram or Vishwajita, would you like to go with some of the questions next?
Actually, busy madam, I heard about you from Beludi. So I want to know about you like this. How do you faced all things about your when you conceive, no? That time, how you faced all challenges like this.
Okay, fine. See,
And maybe if I can just add to that, what was your thought process when you and your partner decided to, have a child? What was your thought process, and then go into the process of what Vishwajita is asking?
Definitely. Okay. So see, it was a blessing.
It is not our question round, no.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, I understand.
But Beludi shared with us the question series.
Okay, so being in Sri Aurobindo's planet from childhood, I was mother. I should say I don't become the devotee of her. She chose me, and I'm under her protection from the age of 12. So from the age of 12, what will you read? I mean, I'm talking about 1992. There was no net. There was no. We have to travel from Chennai to Pondicherry to get the books and all these things. So that is a time when you come to the ashram, you get the little booklet like Idle Parent, Idle Student, the Child, the Prayers, the Hymns to Durga, those kind of small booklets I used to, when I was in 9th standard, watch, okay, mother has said so much about how to be a student, how to be a parent, what is an ideal thing. So naturally, you started seeing everything with a conscious, okay, are we doing as per mother says? Then when you become teen, when you're going to get married, that is when you will see, okay, what mother has told about marriage, relationship, becoming parent. So that time the net was there in 2000 and early 2000s. Yes, everything was available. There was e-books available. There was some ROE sites were available. Inside of like ORG was there. So that was a boon to me. So naturally, I get to an understanding that, we are the finite form of the infinite. And there is a potential with us. As Sri Aurobindo says, we have the potential with us to understand the divine, to grow on and to go beyond. So all these things, made me to, search for something. So when your search is right, when you aspire good, I think things fall in place. So on one odd afternoon from office, after lunchtime, I just went to Smith Road. I am not a person who goes to centers or to societies and all. So when I went to Aurobindo Society for some prayer, I wanted to do some homage. I went. It was a sunny afternoon. There was only one person sitting, and most of the books I was just going through, and I get to see this book, this little booklet called, Prenatal. And this, I think this is the blessing which came into my hand. So I will tell you how it is. So after reading this book, I was just then newly married. So I understood that the journey into life is sacred. We can create secure children who feel welcome, safe, embodied, robust. As a parent, we can have a conscious choice what we are willing to give our children. So what is most important is a child must be wanted for by the couple. The preparation begins there. Wanting a child is more important than having a desire for the child. It is not a momentary sentiment. It requires due deliberation. It must come from place of conviction, clarity and love. So mother says everywhere is a role of women. But there is a major point. Okay, in parenting, in prenatal, yes, mother's point is there. But mother says, very importantly, a dad of doing the thing like an animal, driven by instinct or desire, and most of the time without even wanting it, they eat at will, without an aspiration, putting themselves in a state of, she says, without interest you shouldn't do. You have to put yourself in a state of aspiration, almost like a prayer, so that the being they are going to form may be one fit to embody a soul. We have seen Swami Vivekananda's mom, Jijabai Shivaji's mom, Aryambal, mom of Shankara. So everywhere women part was highly, put it in the pedestal. But that is most important. Mother says that of doing the thing like an animal driven by instinct is not at all correct, because we bring in the old, we will discuss through that, we will bring the old baggages. So our sankalpa, when myself and my husband, we decided our sankalpa for a child was very clear. We were very clear that child must be prayed for. We didn't want it to happen accidentally. As Adi Shankara says, if not a superman to be born from my womb, I at least wanted a noble, intelligent, insightful soul which would helpful in our nations, our motherland's socio-economic and civilizational progress. For some spiritual realization, he should be on the whole helpful to humanity. That is what our desire for. So when we are clear with our desire, if our aspiration is right, the cosmic consciousness, you don't need to be a mother devotee or Aurobindo follower, or you don't need to follow Sanatana Dharma. You don't have to follow any religion, region, cult, sect. Nothing is needed to have a conscious conception. Today, globally, this conscious conception is everywhere, in West Europe, everywhere. A lot of people doing it as a business, and a lot of content are available on these sites. Website you can see, which is actually fine. End of the day, what we need is result. So any atheist, any agnostic, anybody will surely be a believer of a power above us. If not God, they will call it as nature or science or cosmos or energy. That vibration is more than enough. What we think, what we speak, those vibrations create things, good things around us, and an incredibly good mind and a determined will is more than enough to bring an awesome child into the world. Swami Vivekananda says, my father and mother fasted and prayed for years and years so that I would be born. He also says they prayed for every child before it is born. It is not only for Vivekananda, for every child. And Adi Shankaracharya's parents, when they had Lord Shiva in the dream, who asked for, you want a short-lived brilliant child or a long-lived one, they went in for Adi Shankara. And Jijabai, when she wanted an offspring who should get independence and from the oppressive Islamic rulers, that is when Chhatrapati Shivaji was born. So every word, every thought, every vibration, we have to put in our body, mind, spirit, our home, lifestyle, relations, grandparents, grandmothers, your subordinate peer, everybody will come into place. We will come to them. Everybody will come into place. For a miracle to happen, everybody should wait. I had a driver who had waited to see the result. Whatever I did in my prenatal, he wanted to see how my child react. I will tell you. So everybody should, we can definitely make it possible. So as a parent, we have to set ourselves perfect. We need to get the seed so that it blooms from us. So it is there in our Sanatana Dharma also. We have that all the samskaras. We have that Garbhadana. Then we have this Seemandotsava, then Pumsuvana. All these things are there. If not Sanatana Dharma, the Indian practicing Ayurveda. Ayurveda gives a set of mental framework and physical framework to get conceived. They call it as Vichara, thought process, Vihara, lifestyle, and Ahara, diet. So if not as a sacred journey, at least as to uplift the mother country, to uplift the nation, we need to bring in a new wisdom, strength race. We need to bring in. So conscious early parenting is, you have to look inward. You have to prove. You have to tell yourself that we are going to bring a spiritual, psychological, emotional journey. So thought and will is most important. Mother says, someone asked mother, can we bring the soul whatever we want? She says, you need to have an occult knowledge for it. But still, she says, it is possible to call out as a soul, but one must be at least little conscious of oneself. It's very sweet, no? At least little conscious of oneself, and you must do what one does in the best situation. This is very rare, but she affirms it is definitely possible. So I would now like to tell what is conscious conception, how I conceived, how myself and my husband discussed, and how we went in for. See, A woman may be mother devotee, husband may not be religious. A husband may be in Aurobindo planet, wife will not even know who Aurobindo is. Or both of them, when they see this video, they are not part of any of these things. No need. What we need is only a man, woman, and two aspiring souls looking for an aspiring soul to come. So the process starts like this. See, with this current digital, fast digital world, I want to put it in this way. Please start your plan 6 months before or 1 year, because for good cultivation, a land should be good, which is uterus. The seed should be very good, ovary and sperm. The water, the nourishment, which is our diet or nourishment. The diet and nourishment alone is not our food. Today, the kind of marketing, the digital world, the news, what we get into the social media, that pollutes us more. You know, all those nourishments should be good. So how we have planned it, like, first, women should get her menstrual cycle correct. You need to record your menstrual cycle properly, at least for 6 months. Have a look at it, mark your ovulation cycle. If your cycle is perfect, you don't have to worry about these PCOD, this infertility. All those things will not come into place. When your vibration is set, definitely everything is set. When your baby is still under plan, your desire, your dream are heard by the soul. The baby spirits are actually waiting to call for your dreams, and they are waiting in our energy circle. When we have the right aspiration, definitely they will come. So control your emotions, unnecessary negative thoughts, remove all those things. If you have any issues in pregnancy, issues in your menstrual cycle, get it corrected. On dot, you should get, based on your body nature. If it is 28th day, you should get on 28th day, so that you know your ovulation is on 13, 14, 15, because that is most important. Those ovulation days are most important. And these days you have all these period diaries, apps have come. You can record it. You can record all your periods, and it will say a good morning message. Hey, congrats, today is your ovulation day. The app greets you in the morning. So it is very easy these days. And women with the current food pattern need more folic acid, vitamins, iron, zinc, because the uterus has to be fine. So take all natural supplements. Don't go for stored products, prenatal supplements. Go for spinaches, fig, and pomegranates, all these things. For men, very important. No alcohol, no smoking, and no medication for both men and women at least 3 months before conception, because the effect of the antibiotic, even a single paracetamol, it has effects. I'm sorry, allopathic doctors will come to hit me, but still I'm saying be healthy at least for 3 months before conception. People should avoid that, because a full sperm regeneration cycle, the spermatogenesis, takes 64 days. See here again, see the nature. We know when we are born, we know we are born with the ovaries. People say, like, you carry your grandma's traits. So here again, nature says, nature has prepared much before us. So we need to prepare. And for women, to record the pregnancy at least 3-4 months, every day, mark your temperature using a thermometer. On the ovulation day, you can see a slight variation in your temperature. I have recorded my temperature for continuously 2 months for my second pregnancy, and I know on 14th day was my ovulation, because there's a slight light in the temperature. So record your temperature. If your ovulation date falls on so and so date, the previous day and the next day and all those days, spend your time on prayers. Aspire for the great soul to choose us be parents. On the ovulation day, have the union, no mechanical, no animalic nature. Invite the soul, do that as a tapasya, because the prayer for the union. In fact, we verbally called out, "Oh Divine Mother, we ask for the choicest soul to be our child." And we pray to the soul, "Oh great soul who are listening to us, please accept as your parents. May we, the aspiring parents, co-jointly with great energy work together and bring you." So that was our prayer. We verbally prayed actually. Then, as I said, the ovulation and all these things are perfect. If your consciousness at that time is perfect, everything is perfect. See, we are no judge. We are nobody to assess the result. Okay, what kind of soul is my first son? What kind of soul is my second son? How is he progressing? We cannot do that. That is divine's call. But one thing what is sure is, we can be very conscious of getting the right soul. Mother says it is possible to call out a soul one might be little conscious. We should be really conscious. As I already told, if we are not prepared, if we are not bringing only a baggage, it will definitely have adverse effect on certain things, which we will discuss. But once, if we set up these things, you have to manage your life stress, manage your work, manage your, a lot of women are working, so manage your maternity leave, plan much before. There is digital world, we can plan everything. And start visualizing. This is most important. Start visualizing the baby even before conception. Verbally start welcoming. As the great souls are in our vibration, they will definitely choose us. So and importantly, relationship with other members at home, work, society, whatever we face, relationship is most important. People should not get into always jagada kind of thing. So when we are going to give a conscious soul, we will also get trained. I'll come to that point. We are not only correcting the future generation, the current generation whom we are the nation builders, we are getting corrected. So 2 generations are getting okay for the nation. So you have any passion of arts, music, please do that. Mother met one lady, and when she saw her twin child, mother said, oh, they look like one Reynolds painting. And that biological mother of those child said, it seems I was hanging those painting in my bedroom, and every morning and every night I used to see the painting. See, in that kind of physical plane, people can attain the materialistic thing without conscious means. In psychological plane, when we are the aspiration, what sort of souls can be brought in for the upliftment of the humanity? Think, no? So if you are a mother devotee, read Savitri, Adoration of the Divine Mother, Vision and Wound, Ashwapati's Yoga, Birth, Quest, and all these things. So it will be an ultimate wound. So conscious conception is man, women together, sit, plan, change their lifestyle, get their body corrected, get their mind corrected. We are the finite form of the infinite. We have the potential to understand the divine and to be one. So definitely we will be blessed with the higher soul, with optimum health and great human. Hope I have answered your question, Beluji and Vishwajita.
Oh, yes. Oh, I don't know what happened to Vishwajita's connection. Hope she'll join us soon. I just want to point out one thing before Ram has a chance to ask next question. You know what? I mean, I was so moved listening to your experience, how, especially when you said, how you and your husband verbally prayed. To take the whole union to conceive a child as a tapasya. I mean, it was just so beautiful to listen to that. But another thing that I want to point out here for those who will be watching this is you keep reminding us in different ways, and it is so important to keep that in front of our consciousness. Typically, when people decide to have, even though, not to this extent conscious, but many people, at least on some level, say, okay, they decide to have a child. But still, the understanding of the idea of having a child or conceiving a child is that a child will be for this reason. Often the lowest reason is that it's like, an extension of our family lineage or an extension of my own identity. It's an extension of one's ego identity, or that the child, which I think is kind of like a very selfish reason, that a child will look after me and, the parents in old age, and those kinds of, so many reasons people give to have a child. But you keep reminding us in so many beautiful ways that it is for the future of humanity, the future of the motherland, the future of nation. I mean, this is so beautiful.
Because see, my husband is neither religious nor an Arabindonian. He was more on socialist and communist mindset of person, but he is a Varma specialist. He practiced the Japanese Varma arts. He is one of the 2 teachers in India who's available today on Shorinji Kempo, Bodhidharma's practice. So he follows that. So they say Kenzen Ichi means mind and body are same. So it was easy for me to tell him. When I said, yeah, he understood. He said, yes, he understands the vibration. He understands cosmos. He understands whatever you think, your body will, attract it. Whatever your body, if I have a pain, my mind will be painful. So it was easy for me. That way I am blessed.
Yes, yes, definitely. So yes, Miss Vijita, welcome back. You
Sorry,
you're
my
giving
internet is very poor. That's why.
no, no, no. We were just talking about how beautifully she talked about that child for the future humanity. So, Ram, would you like to jump in with some question or thought or comment?
Yeah. So I'm just curious to know what were the challenges faced during this whole process.
Okay.
From the time you decided, and how did you express it to your husband, and what was the challenges in terms of getting the support from the family? First of all, whether you conveyed these things to him. So yeah.
See, when I say challenges, we planned much before, so he knows what I am talking, and all those things are fine. See, conscious conception is one thing which we don't discuss outside to the family. It's only between the husband and the wife, so no problem at all. Only postnatal, we need to be very careful because all people talk. Prenatal also, we are carrying inside the womb, it's safe. Okay, so when it comes to challenges, the greatest challenges was to maintain the status quo, because from the date of decision until the date of conception, we have to always be prepared and have that conscious in the center of your heart. Because I read somewhere, if you're because of unprepared pregnancy, what and all becomes, you will pass your inner wounds and burden to our children. Unconsciously, you repeat the same existing pattern of ancestors you are carrying and going to give it. And if you same information, as Beluji said, same information lineage somebody has to carry, those things we never wanted. And the other challenge was like, the whole gamut of child making. Let me put it into 4 phases so that we concentrate only of conscious conception. 4 phases. One is conscious conception. Next one is prenatal, when the child is in the womb. And third is the postnatal, infancy, toddler, and early education. And fourth is our own topic, education, which we call it as integral education. So we will leave the other 3. We will concentrate only on the challenges that is faced during conscious conception. So our job to get the right soul for the humanity and to serve our motherland. So you go to office, you meet your team, your boss, your subordinates, your peer, on travel, social media, and some jagada with the house people, and all these things definitely will happen. So how do you keep yourself focused on this conscious conception until you conceive? That time mother says, why are we on earth? To find the divine who is in each of us and in all things. So we understood, okay, we are also a divine being, okay, we will pray for it. But what if we are not conscious at that time? Mother actually, she's such a sweet mother. She knows where to kick. I'll tell a question. Somebody had asked, some children are wicked. It is because their parents did not aspire them, mother. For that, she answers, that is a big challenge. What we face to have the consciousness always right within us. It is perhaps a subconscious wickedness in the parents. It is said that people throw out their wickedness from themselves by giving it birth to their children. Later, when the child behaves nastily, they scold it. But they should be scolding by themselves, telling themselves, in what a horrible state of consciousness I must have been when I brought that child into the world. No question, dot. She finishes everything here in this answer. So when Swami Paramahamsa Yogananda was asked, what time the soul comes into the womb? Is it on the date of conception? Many people had that question, because even in our dharma, some people say it's in the 45th day, some people say 19th day, 90th day. No, Swami Paramahamsa Yogananda says, actually he has said beautifully, at the moment of conception. His reply was at the moment of conception. He says, when the sperm and ovum unite, there is a flash of light in the astral world. Souls there that are ready to be reborn, if the vibration matches that of the flashlight, they rush to get in. Sometimes 2 or 3, he says sometimes 2 or more get in at the same time, and the women has twins and triplets. So it is important, therefore, to come together physically with an uplifted consciousness. That flash generated in the astral world reflects the couple's state of consciousness, especially as they felt during the moment of physical union. So the challenge was always to check if we are in right mentality, keeping ourselves awareness or not. Am I doing justice to the path I have chosen? We being in the corporate world, handling so many people 24/7, we need to have the same, the true consciousness, keep our concentration and prayer. So getting into track, keep up the momentum, all these things. And that time only I realized it is not going to be until I conceive or until 9 months. It's going to be for the rest of the life. So the solution is also Mother and Sri Aurobindo. As Sri Aurobindo says, in the integral yoga, there is no distinction between the sadhana and the outward life. It is in each and every moment of life that the truth must be found and practiced. If we are true to what we are doing, we don't have to worry at all. So the truth and controlling oneself will help us to bring ourselves into track for every possible situation. That's what my humble opinion. Yes, Ram, I hope I answered your question, Ram.
Yes, in detail, yeah.
And also one more point to add, Mother says on consumption, she says like, what is capital important? I mean, when a soul goes out of this world, say like during death, the capital importance for the future of one who's departing is also the parents at the moment of conception give a sort of stamp on the child. So that reflects on child's life. So the mood and the moment should always be aspiration. Once in lifetime or twice in lifetime, let us aspire.
Yeah.
Twice become luxury these days. So at least once.
Yes. So you have 2 children.
I have 2 children. Yeah. The elder one is 15 years old. The younger one is 9-year-old. They have 6 years gap. Yes.
Okay. So in what way you see, because you and your husband decided to go through, I'm assuming for both the children in a very conscious way, has that in any way impacted your relationship with your children, especially now, I mean, now that they are old enough, so they can also articulate what they feel in terms of their bonding with you and your husband, I mean, their parents. So if you can speak a little bit about this path of conscious conception and pregnancy leading into this parent-child relationship, that will be great.
Actually, this is the deepest and the transformative experience, because as I told, say a woman is 20-25-year-old and a man is 30-35-year-old. When a child is born, a father and mother is also born. So by this conscious conception, the way we change our concentration, our aspiration, the way we handle people, all those things definitely transforms. We are not only raising or welcoming the next generation, but we are correcting ourselves, the current generation who are the nation builders. So we are getting opened up to the new spiritual and transformational process. So we learn a lot of things, and when we correct ourselves, lot many people are happy about it. When you correct yourself and when you say chalega, fine, he is like that, cannot be changed, you go in your own path, that itself will create a lot of so as a parent, first we get changed. We are we really transformed. The Viji as a woman is different from a Viji as a mother. So your too many things you don't your relationship has become spiritual. Your relationship is highly transformational. So when it comes to how our child take it, when you conceive them consciously, I mean, I don't know if I can tell that. See, in your pregnancy file, they write LMP, last menstrual period, date they write, and then the doctor writes a due date. I want a column to write when the date I conceived, because that is the only day in the ovulation period I wanted to have the union, and to check until the next cycle if I am answered or not. If my aspiration is right or not. This I and my is not me, she. If she has blessed or not. If we are conscious, definitely we can tell the date of conception and date of delivery, leave the LMP. So the challenge here, okay, fine. We are talking about the relationship with the child. So the child is actually, as Sri Aurobindo says, it's a soul meant to grow. So you conceive, you prayed, you aspired for it. Your journey started. We who started listening to good music, listen to all Veda Shabdas, read everything. When you do all these things, the kicks, the turns, when you eat something nice, it thrills inside the body. The kid acts for the your light and other situations for the sound. My children used to listen to even to Mozart and also to Yesudas. When I was busy in the office in meetings, I put the speaker in full headset. I put the headset over the tummy. That's how they heard Bhagavad Gita and Mozart. So and the very kick, sometimes when they kick, I will know they liked whatever it is. I would not have enjoyed this thing if not conceived consciously, because the same music when you play when they were 4 months, 5 months old, when you put them on the floor and you go for cooking, there will be a giggle. You come on, see that the same song will be going on. So they remembers, but where it is going to take to, what will be the result of it? Please, parents, don't relate that with marks or money or position. Please, no. That is not our goal. We are not raising all IITs or IIMs or PhDs or who will be minting money. We are doing it for the sake of the divine, and for the divine, we are only an instrument. Please do not relate it with mark or money. And when you do conscious consumption, you conscious pregnancy and consumption, you will be more conscious. You will treat them as an equal soul. Yes, in digital world, kids go through websites, kids go through mobiles. They don't give care for physical play. They spend a lot of things. You want to scold them. Yes, you have to scold. If I don't say conscious conceptual mother should be lenient. Oh, that's a great soul bond. The soul knows how to travel. No. All those things, no place. When the mother talks about her biological mother, she says, my mother was very strict. And if she is not strict, we would not have been like this. Imagine the divine mother talks like that. So I am not saying you should not restrict your children, all these things. You will have those congenial relationship. When they take some decision, you won't stop them. See, my children, certain things if they want, they give with proper reason, they come and tell me. But we also always have the veto power to reject it or to deny it. Mother says every child until 7 years, they are genius. All children are genius. We need to guide as a parent. Until 14, we need to guide. After 14, until and unless if they ask for, we need not, interfere. But we always have the veto power because we are the parents. So conscious consumption doesn't give way for lenient parenting. Okay. So they choose their own destiny, the path they follow. They understand themselves. We have to keep telling them, we don't have to tell them, oh, you're great and all. You don't have to give those things and all to them, but you have to tell them, you are a finite being of infinite. You have a potential to grow. You have a potential to manifest. In fact, in one of the question and answer session, mother says that, there are wonderful things to be manifested. Prepare yourself to receive them. Then if the child want little more to concentrate, want to understand something, that time mother says, you can tell them, Sri Aurobindo came to announce these things. When you're able to read them, you will understand. So I have never forced my children to read Mother or Sri Aurobindo until now, because certain things we should not force. Yes, being disciplined and all these things, they know. Okay, here comes up. When you are going in for the second child, the first child see what you're doing. Okay, except for the conscious consumption, they know what you do for prenatal. Morning, you put Vedic music. Then after coming back, you listen to music. When we talk, the bedtime stories, when you tell the child, the first one also comes, sit next to it, the sibling bonding, creates. He'll say, okay, you're my brother or sister. So you need to be as good as I am. So listen. He'll say, first one. So those kind of bonding will come. It is actually motherhood, whether it is conscious consumption or non-conscious, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful journey. And it is there in our land, our practice, to give a congenial environment, harmonious environment, at least for first pregnancy, the people do all these things. You are taken to your mom's place, get well, all these things are there. So this land and this people were, always giving good importance for maternity. So I don't know, did I off track or did I come to the track?
No, I think you managed to, yes, stay on the track. No issues. Before we come to the close, if there are any other questions, Vishwajita or Ram, please go ahead.
Easy madam covered all things like how to born child, how to guide, what we should do, what we should not do, all things she covered.
I missed an important point. I take the liberty to barge in.
Please go ahead.
When I say like, when you are aspiring the cosmos or the divine, or they come and they come for your help, I told that is how I got this book. And one more beautiful thing happened to me in this journey. When I was 7 months carrying my first one, my father-in-law came and told, he overheard some people talking in the train about training the brain of the fetus when they are in the womb. You just go through net, somehow you get it done, my father-in-law told me. And I was like, where do I go and search? I mean, you put so many things coming on, I don't know where to go. The very next day, my husband's friend, actually he was my classmate, he came and told my husband, there is a lady by name so-and-so who's running so-and-so organization, and she is the child educationist, Vijay is pregnant, why don't you check? And he gave a number in a small sheet. That is when the total thing opened for me. Apart from conscious conception and prenatal, the postnatal education opened up for me. Her name is Revati Shankaran. She runs the organization called Little Gems. When Anirudh was born, it was 2 decades experience for her. Now Anirudh is 15, 35 years she is doing this service. Thankfully, she is also a follower of Mother for 4 decades. And it was my last trimester. She was actually trained in Dr. Glenn Doman methodology for brain stimulation. It is called actually as infant brain stimulation and recalling, photographic and recalling methodology. Like what we say for Swami Vivekananda, he takes a book, goes through the books and he can repeat it. So it's photographic memory. So, the divine bestows everything at your doorstep when you rightly aspire. I came to know it was a boon. In fact, she took me to many channels for this, prenatal and postnatal shows with my children. So I want to, put that point.
Oh, sorry. Yes, very nice. Thank you. So you have studied with her also, right?
Yes, my complete postnatal. We gave children the language. It's called flashcards. We have taught the kids language, math, encyclopedia, reading books. All these things will start when the eyeball stops. Say from the 40th day until the child becomes 4 years old, we have set of materials. People will say you've gone nuts. Teaching a child of 40 days old. So people will see only as education. No, it is brain stimulation. It improves excellent photographic memory. I don't want to boast, but my sons, when they see 10 years before, if they have seen a place, they can tell what and all they have seen like a memory game. But it will dilute. I don't want to talk about the intelligent quotient. It will dilute the whole process. We should only think about the social intelligence and the emotional intelligence. That is what is the need of the hour. The need of the hour is only thing, because people get dejected. This generation, they can't accept failures. So the social and the economic intelligence and quotient is most important. And I'm sure definitely people can definitely achieve it. Just you need to be a bit conscious. Once you conceive consciously, it is a long journey for you. You keep updating yourself. You keep updating as a parent. You grow, the child grows, the nation grows.
So have people in your circle, like your friends, family, have they been influenced by your experience, and what has been their kind of feedback for you?
Yes. People who sync with the same vibration and same thoughts, many of them have gone for prenatal fetal bonding. I have trained many people. I wouldn't say trained. Whatever I did, I shared with them. And then they find the results. They want to go for postnatal. And when it comes to postnatal, I refer them to Revati ma'am because she has a set of records, 35 years of experience. She has a set of records and everything, and she's exceptional in, give in that postnatal education. So prenatal, many of my friends, whoever has seen the shows or whoever has seen my kids have asked, and I have told them what Vedas you should listen to, what to read. We do a lot of research on the time. Say a couple of things, what I say, like as a mother, you can read some research papers because that will stimulate the brain. You can take a topic research every week. Say, read about planets, read about all these, astro things. In fact, the major research given to me was Bharatanatyam. When it started from that day until today, I was asked to do an assignment on that. And Ashtama Siddhi. What is Ashtama Siddhi? That is what I did for my second one. So those kind of, when you put in your brain research, that reverberates, internally. So this prenatal and postnatal, yes, I have referred to people. We have spoken a lot. Couple of my friends also, I have guided them on that. Conscious consumption, I want to put it in the forum. This is the very first time I'm talking to any outer circle. I have never spoken in any of the TV channels on this, and this is the very first time. I thank Mother and Sri Aurobindo that this is the first thing has happened in Aurobindo Society's work. I thank Sri Aurobindo Action and Savitri Bhavan for introducing me to Anubhuti Camp. Otherwise, I would not have known you, Beluji.
Yes, and we thank you for taking the time. You mentioned that you have spoken about the prenatal, postnatal things at other forums on TV channels and things like that. So I think it's really wonderful that you, having learned and experienced and having gone through this process, this journey, are sharing this with others, future aspirants, those who want to go through this process in a very conscious way and aspire for a conscious soul to take birth. So it's really remarkable. I congratulate you. We all congratulate you and convey our best wishes for the good work that you are doing for the future of humanity, for the future of human race. So if the new race has to be born, as Mother and Sri Aurobindo have not only envisioned, but have made it possible, have brought that possibility down, the role of mothers and the role of motherhood is very important. And thank you so much for doing that work for the humanity.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And I guess we'll just stop here. It's really been a very, very moving conversation. So thank you.
Thank you, Bishwajita and Ram. Thanks for this opportunity.
Sure. Thank you.